Alright, this is going to be a quick video going over the features of this new bike. So, the big thing is this new battery and motor. You can see I've got a nice bit of cable wrapping done here that makes it nice and slick. It's got some mastic tape covering all the wires down below there to keep them a little bit more protected against mud and grime and rocks. And this nice cover that embodies or contains a 250 watt hour pack with a charge jack that matches up with this nice little charger. It's able to charge the thing in a couple of hours, maybe a little bit less, we'll see. It's got a custom connector on here that I bought just for this project that makes this a really nice solid connection. Charger auto detects when the battery is connected and is able to, you're able to select what level of charge you want, 80 to 100%. You save by only charging to 80%. It will extend the overall life of the battery, so you're not stressing out as much. What else is new? So we got a whole bunch of things. So the charge controller. Sorry, I got a quick blip there from mashing buttons, but here's the main interface for the bike. If you push this button on the bottom here for about 5 seconds, it turns on. The right one is the power button, the left one is the mode button. And then there's the level control buttons here. So you can see right now it's at 100% charge, and no emergency, no errors. The little bottom left thing there's an error indicator. If I pull the brake right now, it's showing that the brake sensor is detecting that it should be turned off, which it will do. Let's see, to the left here we got the dropper post control. As you can see right now it's on level 1. If I hit the up button, I get a little nice vibration haptic feedback. It's level 1 to 5 is the way they set it up by default. You can see I've changed it to miles per hour as the imperial units method. There's not really much else, it's different as far as electronics go. There's a bell. I got that on all my bikes now, and then you got your nice shifter there, the SRAM Eagle shifter. All these wires come around and try to keep them nice and tight. They route into this plastic wire routing shield right here, and then it splits off at a joint here. I'm probably going to remove this guy completely right now. That's it's a spare connector that's not being used. That goes down into the battery box there. The battery is actually being held on primarily by these Velcro straps, but the case is being held in both by the battery straps and this zip tie here. On the top of the battery there's some double-sided tape as well that keeps the thing from wanting to rotate side to side. The other thing that keeps it from wanting to rotate is the fact that this zip tie is being clamped by this bottle cage here. Neat little thing about the bottle cage is there's a multi-tool built into it. This multi-tool has all the tools you need to service the bike. So there's a, like for example, to take off the front wheel, you need an M6, sorry, a 6mm hex key. That's in here. That slides in there nicely and has a little rubber band that keeps it from vibrating or making noise. On the side of the motor here, I've got the this upgrade Lecky brand. It's L-E-K-K-I. It's a Dutch brand that makes hop-up parts for these motors. For this is a Bafang motor. This thing allows allows you to pump grease into there. There's a little grease hole. Don't need to do that too often, but once every a few hundred miles, maybe like 500 or 600 miles. But it makes it possible for this cog. This is only a 40 tooth front sprocket, which is smaller than the smallest one you can get from Bafang, which allows you to get a lot of low end torque. But you need this motor cap in order to fit this smaller cog, or chainring they call it. Let's see, what else did I do? I added shielding on the cranks here. There's some called the crank skin on there. Prevents damage over time or wear over time. Same thing for this. This is a crank boot to prevent when you hit your anti crank on a rock or something. Got some Crank Brothers pedals here, nice and light. Back here in the drivetrain, there's your. I've got a mud guard squeezed in there as tight as I can get it. This allows, keeps the mud off of the wiring here. Any rocks and things hopefully will be shielded. You can kind of see on the other side there's this sensor. This is what determines the speed of the bike, so the motor can accurately judge whether or not you're actually pedaling or not. It will automatically shut off if the magnet that's on the wheel here moves or comes off, because it wants to know that it's not free spinning. It's not going to hurt you by running with the wheel unattached. So every time the magnet goes through it, goes around it, you'll see a little light here turn on, just indicating that it's seen the magnet blip by. This Bafang motor was provided by this company Luna. It kind of rebrands them. They do some extra hop-ups too. That they add their own little motor controller inside that's a little more robust than the factory version. It's also a little bit higher torque, or they are upgraded the torque. Crank skins on this crank as well, even though there was already a little bit of damage before I added the crank skin just now. But it shouldn't affect the operation at all. And there's a nice RockShox Monarch shock in the back here with this is called a lizard skin that keeps mud and grime off the shock body, so that it'll it goes longer between needing to clean the shock body. But you will need to, if this gets really muddy and wet, you want to remove it, clean it, and throw it in the washing machine with your clothes, and then stick it back on later. You will have to. The only problem with this is it covers with a little guide that shows you what this switch does. But basically, there's 3 positions. There's the standard mode that they call pedal mode, which is like halfway between locked out and standard, and fully open, and then locked out mode, which kind of prevents from the shock from moving too much, so that when you're going up a hill and you want to pedal as hard as you can, you can do that. I usually just leave it in regular mode, because with an e-bike, when you have all this extra assistance, you don't need to be like getting up and pedaling really hard. Also comes with a nice Camelback Podium water bottle. It's got a nice lock on there that keeps it nice and clean. And then, of course, the front shock is or front fork is a RockShox Boxer, which is actually designed more for heavier duty riding, but it was the only fork I could find that was nice and sort of supple, and very good small bump sensitivity that still fits a straight head. A lot of frame heads these days are tapered, so they have a smaller bearing on top and a bigger bearing on bottom. This frame is kind of older style. It's the same bearing on top and bottom, and these forks fit that. That's why I ended up getting that one. But yeah, it's got a nice 200mm rotor up front and 180mm rotor up in the back. But yeah, I really like how this came out. I like how the little battery door works, keeps the mud out of there. Probably gonna do some test rides this week, and yeah, it should be fun.